On February 18th, NASCAR changed a rule many fans called the Kyle Busch Rule. Within hours, Kyle Busch signed an 8-race Truck Series deal for 2026. He will drive the number 7 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. He already owns 67 Truck Series wins, the most in history. Now he gets 3 more chances than before. But why did NASCAR change the rule now, and what does it really mean? NASCAR officially raised the limit for experienced Cup Series drivers in the Truck Series from 5 races per season to 8. The rule applies to drivers with more than 3 full years of Cup experience. For years, that restriction kept top-level Cup drivers from entering too many lower series races. The goal was to protect young drivers and give them space to grow. 5 races was the cap. Now it is 8. That shift directly allowed Kyle Busch to expand his 2026 truck schedule. The timing matters. Busch quickly signed an 8-race deal with Spire Motorsports to drive the number 7 Chevrolet Silverado. The announcement followed the rule change almost immediately. That is not random. Busch had already been limited by the old 5-race maximum. The moment NASCAR opened the door to 8, he stepped through it. The driver most linked to the rule is now the first to benefit from its expansion. Kyle Busch enters 2026 with 67 career NASCAR Truck Series wins, the most all-time. No other driver is close to that mark. Each start gives him a chance to push that number higher. Under the old rule, he would have had only 5 attempts. Now he has 8. That is a 60% increase in opportunity. In a series where a single win can shift playoff momentum for full-time drivers, 3 extra starts from Busch carry weight. Spire Motorsports confirmed Busch will compete in 8 specific events, including Atlanta, Bristol, Texas, Dover, Charlotte, Nashville, North Wilkesboro, and Richmond. These are major tracks that reward racecraft, tire management, and precision. Notably, he has not entered in the Daytona opener. That is important. Daytona is unpredictable. His schedule focuses on tracks where skill and setup often decide the outcome. That increases his odds of adding to his record. HendrickCars.com will sponsor Busch in most of the starts. That backing signals stability and intent. Teams do not expand schedules without clear support. 8 races require funding, preparation, and top-tier equipment. Busch does not enter events casually. He enters to win. If the truck was not competitive, the schedule would not expand. The original restriction on Cup drivers came after seasons where veterans dominated lower series events. NASCAR stepped in to balance development and competition. 5 races became the line. Now NASCAR has decided that 8 is acceptable. That raises a real question. If Busch wins multiple races in 2026, will critics argue the limit should shrink again, or has NASCAR found a new balance? Each Busch entry changes the math for full-time truck competitors. He is not running for the championship. He cannot collect playoff points toward a full-season title. That makes him a spoiler. If he wins a race, that victory is removed from the pool of full-time contenders. That affects seeding, stage points, and playoff positioning. In a tight standings battle, even one race outcome can change a season. Young drivers face both challenge and opportunity when Busch enters the field. Beating him carries value. Passing Kyle Busch at Bristol or Dover creates headlines. It raises a driver's profile instantly. But the difficulty is real. Busch is a 2-time Cup Series champion with wins across NASCAR's national divisions. His presence raises the performance bar every weekend he competes. Spire Motorsports gains immediate credibility from this pairing. The number 7 truck becomes a headline entry at each event. Qualifying sessions will be watched closely. Restarts will carry added tension. Crew performance will be under a spotlight. Busch brings pressure with him. That is part of the impact of this rule change. Every pit stop will be judged. Every strategy call will be second-guessed. When Busch is in the field, small mistakes become big stories. The increase from 5 to 8 starts may look simple on paper, but in practice it reshapes race weekends. 3 additional Busch entries mean 3 additional high-level battles for track position, stage wins, and trophies. If he wins early in the year, confidence builds within the team. Momentum is real in racing. If he struggles, critics will question whether the expanded limit truly shifts outcomes. Either way, attention follows. Cameras will find the number 7 truck. Radio chatter will be analyzed. Late race moves will be replayed. The business side also matters. Cup drivers bring ticket sales and viewership. When a name like Kyle Busch appears on a truck entry list, fan interest rises. NASCAR balances development goals with commercial realities. Expanding the limit to 8 suggests the sanctioning body believes the added exposure benefits the series. Sponsors gain value when ratings climb and grandstands fill. Now the focus shifts to results. 67 wins already stand as the Truck Series record. 68 would push it further out of reach. Each victory increases the distance between Busch and the rest of history. With 8 attempts in 2026, the probability of at least one win rises sharply. That is simple math. And if he wins more than once, the conversation will grow even louder. The 2026 season will reveal whether this adjustment becomes permanent culture or sparks new debate. If Busch dominates, some will call for tighter limits. If he wins sparingly while elevating competition, the 8-race cap may settle into place without controversy. The outcome rests on performance. NASCAR changed the Kyle Busch rule on February 18th. The driver most associated with that nickname immediately expanded his Truck Series presence. 8 races now stand between Busch and a higher win total. 8 races where full-time drivers must measure themselves against him. 8 races that could alter playoff standings. The moment the limit moved from 5 to 8, the math of the 2026 season shifted. Every team owner, crew chief, and title contender noticed. Because when Kyle Busch is added to an entry list, the race instantly gets harder. The rule once limited him to 5 opportunities. Now it grants him 8. 3 additional starts may seem small, but in a tightly contested season, they are significant. In a playoff system where one win locks in a spot, a single Busch victory can remove that chance from a full-time driver fighting for survival. A stage win can cost someone valuable points. A late restart with Busch on the front row can decide who advances and who goes home. The effect will not be theoretical. It will be measured in laps led, trophies earned, and points denied. Consider what 8 races really means. That is 8 qualifying sessions where Busch can start near the front. 8 races where his experience on tire wear, restarts, and traffic control becomes a weapon. 8 chances for Spire Motorsports to gain momentum with a proven winner behind the wheel. If he wins early in the season, pressure builds immediately. If he wins late, it can disrupt the playoff bubble at the worst possible time for someone else. There is also the development angle. Young drivers often say they learn the most when racing veterans. Facing Busch on track forces sharper execution. Mistakes are punished quickly, but learning does not guarantee results. A rookie running second to Busch still finishes second. That difference matters in a standings race. Spire Motorsports benefits beyond trophies. Data collected from Busch's feedback can help the entire program. Setup notes, tire fall-off patterns, restart timing, pit road discipline. That knowledge carries over to other entries. 8 races provide a larger sample size than 5. That means more information, more refinement, more improvement across the organization. If Busch adds 2 or 3 wins to his total of 67, the record stretches further from reach. Each victory builds a wall that may never be climbed. If he goes winless, critics will argue the expansion did not change competitive balance. Either outcome will shape future discussion about the limit. If Busch adds multiple wins in 2026, the debate will return. If he does not, the adjustment may pass quietly into history. But one fact is clear: NASCAR changed the rule, and Kyle Busch stands at the center of its first real test. The results of those 8 races will decide whether this rule change becomes a footnote or a turning point.